Summer is soon officially coming to an end. Children are already back in school and the air is getting crisp. But if you're not ready for sweater season just yet, don't worry. There's still time to plan one last getaway. And Jacqueline Gifford, who is travel director at Travel and Leisure and Departures, is here to tell us the best ways to squeeze in one last trip with our families. Jacqueline, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So, of course, everyone's getting back into their school routines, but a lot of people looking for a one-day trip.
Totally. And you know what? Right here in the Northeast, you can go to a place like the Catskills if you're in New York City, just 2 hours north. It's an incredible place for hiking, for biking. You know, this was a family getaway back in the 50s and 60s. Yeah. They love it because it's got this summer camp vibe, but now
it's like Dirty Dancing.
It's Dirty Dancing.
They were in the Catskills.
Totally. And now there's actually been a revitalization because a lot of new hotels have opened. Creative types have moved up there. There's a place called the Arnold House, Scribner's Catskill Lodge. So lots of new places to stay. It's definitely still family friendly.
So it's not all summer camp. There's actually some really nice hotels.
Oh, this is a beautiful time to go up there. Absolutely.
Okay. And what kind of activities would you advise for a family to be on their fall itinerary?
Well, you can go hiking, you can go biking. I mean, basically in the Catskills, there's so much you can do in the great outdoors. Another great place I should point out to go on the West Coast is Portland, Oregon. So what's amazing about this city, first of all, it's walkable, right 30 minutes away. You can drive and get into the great outdoors. But this fall, there's a really special exhibit that's opening in the Portland Art Museum that's dedicated to Laika. So Laika is the animation studio that's done Kubo and the Two Strings and Coraline. So if your kids are into animated movies, I mean, what kid isn't? So this is a great place to go because you can actually see how they make these movies. You can see puppets, learn about the technology that goes into it. So it's a really special place.
Of course, there's fall foliage. I mean, I think September is one of the most
it's amazing.
Times
and you know what? The best part about the fall is exactly you get to drive. You can do these long, amazing hikes in the wilderness and really see the leaves change, go apple picking. There's also, I mean, this is Halloween season, right?
Yeah,
so there's all sorts of pumpkins,
hay rides,
spooky getaways. Think about a place like Salem, Massachusetts, right? That's where the witch trials were. What kid wouldn't want to go and see that?
Or Sleepy Hollow,
Sleepy Hollow.
Closer to New York.
Totally.
All right, any planning tips or advice that you have for folks in the off season?
Sure. Well, if you're sitting on a lot of points and miles, use them. You know, we often think that we like to see the big numbers in our accounts.
We
like to hoard them. But hoarding them is actually not a good thing because they tend to actually lose value over time.
Okay.
So think about using them and saving some money. And another thing to think about is thinking outside the box. So for the big holidays, spring break, people like to go to the beach. Fall getaways, maybe you want to go to the beach, but you know what? Maybe think about going to a city instead, a place that has more hotel inventory. You might be better off getting a deal there.
That's really good advice as we start to plan the school vacations.
Exactly.
Where like demand tends to peak and everyone goes to the same
Well, they go
Disney
to the same place and you don't want to be with the crowds. You want to do something that's a little bit more off the beaten path.
All right, let's get romantic.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
For the couples that want to get away from the kids.
Yes. Well, what about wine country, right? I mean, that's totally
wine country
couples.
On the West Coast?
I say wine country on the West Coast. I mean, Sonoma and Napa are beautiful places to stay. There's a boutique inn in Sonoma called the Farmhouse Inn. Travel and Leisure readers, recognize it every year in our World's Best Awards. It's super romantic. They have a Michelin star restaurant. You can go out and see all the wineries, tour vineyards just outside their doorstep. And of course, Sonoma is just, again, that fall foliage. It's harvest season this time of year. So for couples, that's a great place. Another place we recommend is Blackberry Farm in Tennessee.
Okay.
So for people who are into culinary trips, it's really become this foodie mecca. It's near Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and they grow and source most of their produce right there on the farm.
Is that a Nashville or a Memphis, Tennessee flight?
Actually, you fly into Knoxville.
Okay.
I've done this trip. It's amazing. I've done it with my husband. It's a wonderful, wonderful hotel and super romantic.
Lucky guy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get serious for a second because a lot of Caribbean vacation spots, some of the most popular, Turks and Caicos.
Yes.
Cuba, St. Martin's have been devastated in the last week by Hurricane Irma. What's your advice for travelers who had been planning to go there?
Right. Well, obviously, our hearts go out to these islands. Many of them have been deeply affected. The thing to do is if you're planning to go, look, most airlines, and if you're planning to go relatively soon, most airlines will tell you you have a window that you can change your flights. And then when it comes to the hotels, just stay on top of it. They're actually actively updating their sites to inform travelers when they look to reopen. But the reality is you may have to look to your dates changing, and travel insurance may or may not cover it. Read the fine print with your policy if you have one.
Okay. Jackie Gifford, thanks so much.
Thanks.